back in the fourth?
But just our change of energy. It's not necessarily our effort, but I think we were getting frustrated, where, offense didn't click. I thought, we were once again generating open shots, and we start the game 3 for 15 from three. So that's demoralizing. It's frustrating when you're able to, create the offense you're looking for and you don't get the payoff. So there was a lot of frustration with that. And I thought it affected our efforts and energy, our focus on the other end. The second half of that third quarter, obviously the whole fourth, that was kind of the, hey, desperate times, desperate measures, but it's good that we, stayed the course and just kept playing. We could easily just said, you know what, not our night, we just throw in the towel. So it was good to see us respond, finally make some shots, try to get some stops, continue to play together, try to play the right way, at least give yourself a chance. We could have cut it to 4, obviously didn't happen, but still a ball game.
When you desperate times, desperate measures, but was there something that kind of clicked? Because it really did seem like a
Shots went in.
yeah.
Honestly, I'm not being funny. We had a string of possessions. We finally started to make shots, and it's frustrating because you're trying to get Brad going, but once again, teams are going to put pressure on him. They're going to be up and be aggressive and make him a facilitator. He did that most of the game, and we finally got the payoff. Once that happened, it starts to loosen up and open things up for other people.
Wes, if Spencer is more aggressive to try to find his own shot, does that loosen up, or could that loosen up Brad's space and get Brad going?
Yeah, I think it could. And once again, we have to find a way to get those two on the same page and get them both, aggressive and playing well on the offensive end. That's been a struggle for us, and I think it's something we really have to kind of hone in on and figure out, because there are two of our best players, and we need them both to play at the highest level and be the best version of themselves.
This may be too simplistic, but can the offense make significant improvements in terms of its production if Spencer does not? Or are some of Spencer's struggles a product of the offense?
Maybe both, honestly. He loves to play in pick and rolls. I want him to play in pick and rolls and be aggressive. I want him to attack. I want him to get downhill. I think that's where he's at his best. I think there's got to be purpose behind it. We're not just going to play static pick and roll every possession, but you watched us play enough. It's the bulk of our offense turns into a lot of pick and roll. So that type of action has been good for us. We have to find a way to kind of get them going early, get both those two on the same page and productive.
He is shooting a higher percentage of his shots, I guess, at the rim compared to earlier in the season. But is that where it maybe talk about either volume or, like you said, like the purposefulness?
Yeah, I think the more the purposeful part. He can get there, probably whenever he wants. It's just, is it the right time? Are people in the right space? Does he have the right angle? So all those things. But I think still he's trying to search out and be a facilitator, which is fine, but you still got to play your game and be aggressive.
All right, we'll go to Chase.
Hey, Wes. One more on Dinwiddie. He just played so well to start the season. What has changed with him? Is there something that defenses have recognized that they're taking away?
Not to my knowledge. That's the season in general. There are going to be lulls in how everyone plays. So I'm hoping this is just a brief lull for him, and we can get him back on track. But there's really no significant way as far as coverage or even what we're running. So it's kind of a mystery. But, I said to the group, obviously we were desperate to get back in the game. We're down 33 points. But our energy and purpose, the latter half of the third and into the fourth, is how we have to play from the start. It got a little hectic, but, hey, that's the game. We have to read the flow of it and take what we can get.
And can you draw a positive in the way that Davis Bertans played, considering he's been kind of waiting for a game like this?
Yeah, no, it's good. Anytime see the ball go in, I think it's good for shooters. Obviously, there's no moral victories, but it's a small glimmer of hope that things are going to turn for him and hopefully for us in general.
Neil.
Hey, Coach, you said, repeatedly throughout the season, shots didn't fall and we let it impact other parts of our games. How can you try and change that for our team when you're kind of in this extended rut? Is there anything you can say? Is it just hope that, one day they start falling?
Well, it's not a hope. I've said it before, you got to aid in your own recovery. Get in the gym. Shoot. It's not going to just happen. So we got to spend time doing it. You got to get game shots, the shots you're going to get in the offense. The timing, the setups at game pace, all those things. You have to continue to do that. Just like anyone else, work on your craft. So we have to spend time, and not only in practice, but we have access to facilities. So, in downtime or days off, there's another opportunity. I don't think that's a big ask. Most of our guys do that. So that's why I feel confident that eventually it will, tip in our favor.
And I think a couple games ago, you said anything's on the table when asked about, any lineup kind of changes. Do you anticipate, shaking up anything this road trip?
It remains to be seen. It's the first game. But, we'll see.
Thanks, Coach.
Matt.
Hey, Coach. With Brad, you mentioned Spencer's kind of shot selection and wanting to be aggressive. What do you think from Brad, and how do you kind of evaluate his selection?
Say that last part again, I'm sorry.
How do you evaluate Brad's kind of shot selection with all the attention that he's getting, but playing in kind of the rhythm of that and his overall kind of selection?
No, it makes it tough. He's seeing multiple bodies every possession. So he's not going to get clean looks. We're going to run offense through him, and he's going to make the right play at times. He'll be able to facilitate and score, but because he's going to see so many different schemes and so much attention, at times it's tough. He's not going to get the open drive and kick threes. That's where on misses we got to run with pace, get to the corners, open the floor. We saw some of that, late in the game, but it makes it difficult for him. And I know he's at times frustrated, but that's something he's got to work through. I think it'll lighten. I think when he does make those reads and guys make shots, that will help ease some of the tension on him.
And then, he's faced extra attention from defenders before. How much of this is kind of him adjusting to a new system as well, figuring out?
Yeah, I think some of it. I don't know if there's a number or a percentage, but I'm sure that's part of it. You're playing with new teammates. You're playing within a new system. And I know it's been, 26, 27 games for him, but, that's not a lot of time. I know I keep saying that, but it's not. It takes a while. I can look across, the other end, and that's now 7 years. So, the way they move and spatially, they've got some different pieces, but it took time. So it's not an overreaction. Obviously, we want to play well every night, but I keep that in mind. It'll tip, I promise.
Christos.
Hello, Coach. Hope you're doing well. Speaking about Dinwiddie, did you see any kind of difference or any kind of change on his confidence through the season so far?
That's probably a question for him. I mean, I can't really judge a guy. He doesn't seem like it's a confidence issue. I think he's just trying to search how he fits this group, the combinations, how he can impact, that starting group is probably, something that's weighing on his mind. But I just want him to play free, be aggressive, don't overthink it. You're too good. So that's kind of my message. And I think he's smart enough. He's been around long enough to understand how to facilitate, get his teammates looks and when to be aggressive. I just need to see him do it.
Thank you very much.
Last question to Jim.
Hi, Wes. Jim Conlon here, RCB Radio Sport Ireland. Wes, with about 1 minute and 7 seconds left on that clock, it was a 7-point game, and KCP took on a difficult three with an awful lot of time left on the shot clock. Did you like that look, or do you feel there was another play in that?
I mean, at times, once again, we were trying to play with pace, get up the floor, look for the best look, the quickest look, given the situation. I'd have to kind of look at the film to tell you exactly whether or not that was a good shot or not. He's bailed us out with shots like that all season. And obviously, he's a shot maker. He's made big shots. So to answer your question, I'd say I'm comfortable with that. I know it might not fit, the prototypical time and place, but we had momentum. We had we had them on their heels for a count. So, that one shot, if it goes in, could tip the balance. So it's high risk, high reward, but it's one I can live with.
Cheers, Wes.
All right, thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
All right.
That it was kind of just a change of energy that got you guys going in the fourth. Finally, what was working for you personally that just kind of started happening late there?
First, praise my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We played the way we should have played at the end of the game, the whole game. And me personally, it was more or less about opportunities, more or less how they regard me early on and throughout the course of the game. And in the third quarter, I moved all my ball screens and every action up high. Like, everything else was low, everything else was compact, and they packed the paint and forced me to be a playmaker, in which we just didn't make shots early on in the game. Like, we made the right plays. It was just, we just weren't making shots. And it was kind of like the course of that throughout the whole game. We made the right play, we just couldn't convert, and then, we give up some tough ones on the other end, threes, and Jokic kind of doing what he do. But more or less how we ended the game is how we gotta compete. Yeah.
You're so good at kind of finding your way through like the smallest spaces, but when you guys as a team are kind of off from offense, do you feel like you have less space to kind of maneuver and move around because there's no like one person who's drawing attention?
Yeah. I mean, because it's every night, every team is going to game plan. Okay, how do we make Brad pass the ball? That's every team's game plan. That's not a secret. Like, every scouting report is going to say that. How do you get Beal to pass the ball? And a lot of teams are going to pack up the paint. They're going to force me to throw it to our bigs. They're going to force me to skip it weak side. But I trust my teammates, and I'm going to continue to make those plays. I'm going to continue to make those passes. We just got to convert and be better. And I got to convert, and be more aggressive. So, it's just tonight it just didn't fall. But I think we made the right plays and we were aggressive. But we definitely took some steps back on the defensive end, I would say.
Wes has said to us that you and Spencer kind of have to get on the same page. I'm sure he said the same thing to you guys. What do you kind of interpret that as?
I think just us both being aggressive, That's pretty much all I can point to. Whether that's us scoring or us playmaking. We definitely got to play a little bit faster, and we gotta be a little bit more aggressive. Attacking the paint, attacking to disrupt, attacking to cause havoc. But I don't know.
How long does it take a backcourt to start to know what each other is going to do at the speed with which you need to figure it out? In other words, how long does it take to adjust to a new teammate you play regularly with?
That's a tough question to answer, honestly. I've had so many teammates in my career, I really couldn't give you a timeline on that. Every player is different, every relationship's different, every kind of makeup of a duo or whatever you want to make it out to be, it's different. And it's not just Spencer, it's the whole team. It's not just one guy that we're adjusting to, and it's not just me and Spence making the adjustments, it's everybody. It's the staff too. It's everybody. It's everybody from top down. We are all making an adjustment, together, and it's taking time. Like it's taking time. Granted, it's everything's highlighted now because we've definitely lost some in a row, but I think it's definitely fixable. They're all fixable problems. It's just we just got to get it done. We just can't talk about it. Just got to do it.
You mentioned the defense, but as you know, you don't need us to tell you it's all interconnected. And if you guys aren't making shots, and they're not taking the ball in the net, it's hard to set the defense.
For sure.
When you evaluate the defense, how much is that in your mind that the defense doesn't have the chance to quite be at its best?
That's kind of an excuse in a lot of ways. Because regardless if we're making shots, regardless if anything's going your way or not, we always say it. You still can control your defense. You can control your efforts. You can control communicating. You can control boxing out. You can't always control making shots. That's one thing I always say. If we could, we'd be 100%. I always say that. But more or less, we can control our energy on defense, our talking, communicating. And be a lot better on that, But like you said, it is tough when, we're turning the ball over or, we're not getting good shots or, it's long rebounds out to, it leads to transition. So it's tough when we're not, putting pressure on them and, making them take the ball out. It definitely becomes tough because you feel like you're on defense all the time, So you got to change that. Nobody's going to feel sorry for us. Nobody's going to, any of that, we got to fix it. Yeah.
Neil.
Brad, you've come out and said this before that how we played in a certain part of the game is how we should have started. How does that change when you guys have had this extended stretch of that seemingly becoming a reoccurring problem?
I wish I could really pinpoint that for you, Neil. I don't know. Obviously our approach to the game as starters, we have to be better. We can't come out and be down 10, 12, damn near 15, 20 points every first quarter. So we just, it's on us. We have to be better. We have to be better. And, it's really tired of talking about it. We gotta show up. We gotta go out and produce and do what we're supposed to do as a unit. It's not one person going to win us the game. Not one person going to, save the team. Like we have to do everything collectively, and so it's on us as starters. We see like you just said, like we have glimpses where we'll go on a big run, like the end of the third and the whole fourth. We're playing the right way. We're playing with energy. We're playing with force. That's how it needs to be the whole game. But why I couldn't pinpoint that, I don't know.
And I know it's a small sample size, but Denny in his 2 starts, how have you seen him play? And, what's maybe a point of emphasis you tell him if he has to continue to start?
He's done well. I think Denny's biggest thing is he has to understand everything's going to be thrown at him. Like everybody's going to attack him. Everybody thinks he's young. Everybody thinks, we're kind of just throwing him in the fire. But, Denny has heart. He plays super hard, and that's what I love about him. But he has to understand that the game is going to move a lot faster when he's starting. We're going to ask him to do a lot and require him to do a lot. But we're there to uplift him, in every way. He's been doing a good job. He's been holding his own, and I got to do a better job of continuing to lead him, encourage him. But he's been doing good. He's been good.
Thanks, Brad.
All right, that's all the time we got for Brad tonight. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Thanks, Brad.